We're starting now. Hi, everyone.
A
Good
very
morning.
good morning to one and all. Welcome to the session that is by the Civil Service Club. My name is Eugene, and this is you're watching SEO King TV, my YouTube channel. And today we are very happy to have this conversation with my good friend Jamie Cheng, who is an agency owner at Digital Alpha, right? So, firstly, before we start, we would like to give our grateful thanks to Civil Service Club for making this talk possible and for all of you who are joining us. Before we start, if you need to replay this talk, it will be at seoking.tv. seoking.tv. We are streaming it live. For those YouTube subscribers that are watching me, I would like to welcome you. And without further ado, let me hand my time over to Jamie. Jamie,
All
please.
right. Thank you, Eugene, and thank you everyone for making it this morning. I'm not sure but whether it's very early for you guys, but I'm more of a night owl. So thank you for joining this morning lah. Basically, right, today I'll be sharing more about social media and how to really effectively use the platform. Um, I'm not sure whether how many of you all here are business owners, but if you're a business owner or even like a solopreneur, means you're a one-man show that has a business or a brand, then I think that this whole talk will be very, very important and helpful to you lah. And we looking forward to hearing also like your questions at the end of the whole teaching. Yeah. So I think I can just get started right now. I'll just start with I think Eugene you can share the slides.
Yeah, maybe before we get started, I think it's nice
Mm.
to have everyone on your camera, because imagine that we are in a physical class. We would like to see how how are you awake or are you still sleeping, right? And we would like to really interact with you. I see Erin. Thank you. Erin is my one of my students. He attended my SEO class. Thank you. I see
Mm.
very familiar faces. Patrick Loke, uh, a few other peoples as well. John Ngan and Brennan. From networking groups. I saw Kim. Kim, are you tuning in from Korea? Yes. Hi. Welcome. Yeah, we welcome Kim from Korea as well, right? And yes, we have a couple of my friends that I know personally. Also, David Au, Crystal, and Natalie as well, and a few of my other friends as well. And we have one of my friend Nick Issa joining us. I think Jamie, you met him that day. We were having a meal together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So please try to on your camera. We want to try to keep this session as interactive as possible, and
Mm.
also because if you have any things that you want to clarify in terms of your social media marketing, we will do the presentation first, and then after which we will go ahead with whatever that is needed. Yeah, Jamie, I think you can share your slide better lah, because you know your pacing, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. Okay, over to you, Jamie.
Okay, give me a few seconds.
So as Jamie preparing, if you are tuning in on SEOking.tv, we welcome you, and we are just about to get started with effective marketing through social media. Over to you, Jamie.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. So just get straight to it. So first a little bit about me. My name is Jamie Cheng and I'm the director of Digital Alpha Agency as a co-founder of OMG Digital Media. And basically what I specialize in will be social media strategy. So just a bit of background about me. I'm leading a strong team of 8 and I'm really, really thankful for my team for helping me really execute the ideas that I have and making them even better. And I'm a six-figure agency owner by age of 24. Right now I'm 25 and coming 2026 soon. and loving it. Also a 5-star review agency and recognized by Media One as well as Best in Singapore as one of the top social media agencies in Singapore. And I've also spoken at Nika, Prop Next, the Posture Lab, and also Heartland Rehab. And special thanks to Eugene for helping me have the opportunity to speak at Nika. So I'm excited to speak to you guys too, and hopefully you guys learn a thing or two at the end of the session. So the main takeaways that I hope you all can, you don't have to learn everything, all three of it, but these are the three main topics I'll be covering. And number one is to, tell you how to build a bulletproof social media strategy. And then the next one will be nailing your messaging by first starting to know who you're talking to. And that's what we define as your target audience. And lastly, turning social data into valuable insights. So there's so many numbers that you can look at from just one platform, but what do they mean and how can you use this data to improve whatever that you're trying to do and grow your business in whatever objective that you have lah. So for chapter 1, right, what makes up a bulletproof social media strategy? So there are actually 7 components to a social media strategy, in my opinion. If you were to go and Google, right, social media strategies, there's all sorts of different social media strategies. But after much research and testing, I realized that it really boils down to 7 main components. You don't need a bit more than that. If you have more, then sure, why not? More information is always better lah. The first thing is to know your goal and KPI setting. So your goal can be your business goal. Let's say if your business goal for this quarter, right, is to gain more brand awareness. But let's say you're starting out. So you can't expect like sudden sales, immediate sales when you start marketing. So first you need to set like realistic goals. You're setting like, let's say brand awareness is your goal. You just want to get more people to find out about your brand. What kind of metrics should you be looking at? What kind of like definite numbers you should be setting? That's the KPI setting. Number 2 will be brand identity. So brand identity has many components under it. But later on, I'll share with you what they are. And number 3 will be target audience. So again, who you're talking to and how to really clearly define your target audience. What kind of information do you need to know who you're talking to? The 4th one will be competitor analysis. So this is knowing like, okay, what is the market condition like? What is the your competitor, the market scene like? Who else is doing something similar to you? Who are your indirect competitors that you can potentially collab with? So not every competitor is someone that you have to fight against, and even competitors could be collaborators instead. So it depends on how you like to do business also lah. Number 5 is content pillar. So posting on social media can be overwhelming to some business owners because there's number 1, right? Some of them have a lot of ideas. They're like, yeah, I can do everything, but then like you don't really know how to pace it. There's no like clear direction. Okay, in this week I'm going to post this, and then next month so there's no clear direction. And then there's another group of people where they like a cricket sound in the head, like I don't know what to post. So it's like quite different and quite extreme lah. So your content pillars, you know, like, okay, I know what to be posting is on brand, it makes sense, relevant. So that's where they come in lah. Number 6 will be content calendar. So once you know what you need to be posting, what is your brand, your business all about, then the topics will come very easily. You can schedule them and to systemize them. That's where your content calendar comes in. And lastly will be growth strategy. So if you see or you hear social media experts telling you that you post content consistently, you grow, right? I'm telling you that doesn't work anymore. Last time, yes, because not so competitive, but now you need a growth strategy, right? So that's number 7 is like teaching you how to amplify your content, how to promote your content, how to get more eyeballs onto your brand. Right. Okay. So number 1 will be goals and KPIs. So social media marketing strategy and efforts should be in line with your business and marketing goals. So in this table, you can see, right, on the left side, your goals. So let's say your goal is to have brand awareness. So the metric that you want to be looking at on social media itself, right, will be reach, followers, impression, and your brand mentions. So reach means, right, is the unique number of people looking at that content, that post, or your profile. Followers is, yeah, like you all know, right, now people following your account. And impression is the not unique eyeballs looking at your post, profile, or your brand. So let's say, right, I'm one person, but I look at your post like 3 times. The impression will be 3, but the reach will still be 1. And then for mentions, sometimes when you post on Instagram, then like you tag someone or like your favorite brand, right? Then a mention will come out on their social media, their Instagram account, and they can go and reshare that on their story or as a post. So you are mentioning that brand. So if you as a business get a lot of mentions, then you can understand that, oh, more people know about my brand. That's why they're tagging me also, right? So to achieve brand awareness, the recommended format, this is not set in stone, but it is something that I found that can be quite useful, is to do more reels, entertaining kind of content, highly rateable content. Why? Because reels, right, on Instagram and even now Facebook, but more so on Instagram, is that the algorithm is pushing for reels even more. The difference between reels and like other formats is that reels is best when you want to reach new audiences. Like collaborations, reels is one way. Another format will be the entertaining content. Why? Because let's say you see something funny like SG gag or some other account, you want to share with your friend because it's funny, right? Or you share to your story. So all these shares get more reach for that brand that you're sharing about. And then lastly, it'll be highly readable content. Let's say you see a quote, a very like a motivational quote that you really believe in. Your natural instinct will to be share with it with a friend, a close friend, or even your story as well. So the main thing that they are trying to achieve with all this content is to get more shares. And then when you share, they get more brand awareness organically. Yeah. The next goal here will be leads. Many business owners, their main concern or their main desire is to get leads, right? Because without leads, there's no sales. Without sales, the business, right? So leads, right? The social media metric that we look at is DMs, which is direct messages, the messages that comes into your Messenger, Facebook, or Instagram DMs, opt-in and on contact traffic from social media. So contact traffic, that means like, let's say someone go to your website, if you have a website, then there's a form, then they fill out the form. But then if you have Google Analytics installed, right, then you can see all this traffic, all this contact from comes from where. So if you track back to Facebook, you track back to Instagram or other social media platforms, right, then you know that your social media efforts, your strategy is working if your goal is for leads. And then the recommended format for this is testimonials, stories like Instagram, Facebook stories, like short, very punchy, kind of very organic content, short promo content, and also planning a campaign. So when your goal is leads, right, you got to kind of like plan out maybe like a 8-week campaign. So at first you want to like build up interest first. Try to identify with your audience, make yourself relatable. This is the, let's say your campaign, right, at the end of it, the offer is to maybe sell a gym trial or a personal training trial, right? So maybe at the beginning you can say that, oh, the problems that most of your clients face without a personal trainer, maybe like they don't know what to do, they cannot stick to whatever that they plan out because there's no accountability, etc., etc. Then when you create all this problem awareness content, right, people can relate. Hey, yeah, I feel that also. Then maybe in the next week you can talk about solutions. Like, some of the solutions that I do for my clients is XYZ. And then you can even give educational content like, oh, how do you squat properly? How do you plan a workout program? But they can't do it themselves, they need your help. So you're kind of building from problem aware to solution aware. And then afterwards, you can do show your testimonials from clients, social proof. So if hey, you can help someone who was like in my position, I'm sure you can help me too. And that's where you really blast out your promotion. Okay, limited time, I only have 2 slots left kind of thing, because personal training. So planning a campaign looks like that. Yeah. The third goal here is to boost engagement. So engagement is quite simple. Social media metric will be likes, comments, saves, shares, and mentions. But I want to break down like each metric, what is the recommended format. If let's say your goal, right, is to get more likes, studies have shown and testing has shown that if you show more personal content and like the post itself, right, is an image content with people like visually like very obvious on the picture, right, then you'll get more likes. No matter what the story is, as long as it's your face, right, people will like it because they're liking the post because of you, right? And if you want to get more comments, think about more thought-provoking content. So like asking questions or even like a statement that gets people the reaction like, kind of thing. And then for quizzes, you can even do quizzes through graphics and even contradicting content if that is on your brand now. Lastly, shares will be funny, informative content, like what I mentioned above here. Highly rateable, entertaining content gets a lot of shares. And if you want to really get all sorts of engagement, the one thing that I found that would be very effective would be giveaways. So giveaways, you say, okay, if you want to do this, you do step one, step two, step three, that everyone will do. And you get all the metrics that you want. And it's quite effective. Lastly is to establish your authority. So yes, you can do all these sorts of like personal content and all that, but you need to have a balance between like your personal content and business content. Otherwise, you'll just be a personal profile, which is not what you want to position a business as lah, right? So the social media metric for this will be followers number one because of the social proof. As much as people or other social media gurus say that okay, followers is not important, I do see the value in it. So you can also quantify your efforts. And when let's say right, you go to account and then you see the followers like wow, got 1K plus, 2K plus, or even like 10K plus, you immediately have that like judgment in the sense that like, oh, this person is credible, right? Then later then you see the bio, then you see the content itself. So followers do matter. And also with more followers, that means your pool of audience, your pool of audience is bigger. So the percentage of you getting like a lead from them can be higher also. And apart from followers, the quantitative metric will be the content topics with the qualitative aspect. So this comes down to branding. So let's say, right, if you have 10K followers, but your feed looks like Japalang, like anyhow, he's not very branded, right? There's no like business related content. Then I also don't know what business you're doing. And even if I do, I don't know if I can trust you as much as a person who has a very nicely curated branding lah, right? And the recommended format for this would be informative graphic carousel, reels, testimonials, and also case studies to really push up the authority that you have. Yeah. Okay. The next one will be brand identity. Right, this is point number two. So under brand identity, what would be useful is for you to have a brand guide to understand your brand tone, your brand voice. Like how do you want to be heard as? Because on social media, right, if let's say it's not a video, it's all words. And sometimes when like the way that we use words has a certain tone, has a certain voice, has a certain language, has a certain like a usage of words. Like for me, I'll say hey guys, but if let's say my dad, right, he won't say hey guys. He's not on his brand. He'll say hi or hello, full stop. So it's very different. So you need to know like how you sound like as a person and how people will hear you by just reading text on your social media. And it's very important. It sounds like I used to think that this is a very minor thing, but over time, right, I realized that this is very important because otherwise you'll get very lost in like your audience will feel like who are you really? Because it doesn't sound like you. Number two is that if let's say you outsource to anyone, right, they don't know how to how to say take over for you and like represent you the best way if you yourself don't know how you want to be represented. Yeah. And then this one is more for the visual. It's a bit more obvious lah, the look and feel of your branding. Do you want it to be very loud or do you want it to be very relaxing? If a pillow company, you don't want it to have red like McDonald's, red and yellow. You want it to have like more calming colors like blue, teal, white, like this background like that lah. Then comes down to the brand color. So you can see in this diagram, like the red, orange, purple, blue, green, black, white. What meaning each color represents. This is not like a set in stone as well. This is just like a explanation of the color. So for red, it's more like power, danger, passion, love. And then white is more of like innocence, safety, cleanliness, faith, right? And then for brand shapes and form and other visual elements also important. So you can see on the right hand side here, psychology of shapes. So for triangle, it's more like mystery, power, something very like clean cut, focused, ambitious, and competitive, right? And then if you compare it to like wavy lines or like blobs, which is quite popular nowadays, it's more organic, it's creative, it's motivating, it's futuristic, intuitive, and expressive. So you need to choose like what kind of color, shape, tone, and look and feel that you want to be represented. And then when you really know that, right, then when you outsource or you like get someone to help you with it, it'll be much easier for them to understand how you are as a brand. And number three will be target audience. So later on, I will explain a bit more about how to nail your target audience. But here is just like a quick overview lah. So if you're saying that if someone asks you, oh, who can you help? And you say anyone, everyone also can. That is not a target audience. It's a very common thing. I used to be like that as well. But yes, you can help anyone, everyone, but doesn't mean you can like market it that way. Otherwise, it'll be very thin, it'll be very slow. So you want to be not like a well-rounded brand, but you want to be a sharp-edged brand, right? And then afterwards, when you have kind of dominated that niche or that target audience, then you can slowly expand. Because each person, right, their needs, their desires, their problems, the way that they speak, or all that kind of thing, right, is quite different. And the small, how to say, the small difference, right, makes a big difference. Yeah. So other target audience, some of the things that you want to look at is demographics, which is like your gender, age, location. I think in Singapore, if let's say Singapore, even Singapore so small, right? Like there are different areas. So if let's say you talk to Easties, you talk to Westies, then it'll be quite different, right? Because Easties and Westies always have this like battle in that sense also. Interest, usually I like to break it down to primary interest and secondary interest. Primary interest means like very obvious, related to your business. So let's say back to the analogy I had before, personal training, right? Whether your business would be, oh, the person interested in fitness lah, yoga, diet, very obvious, right? But secondary interest would be like, let's say I'm interested in yoga also. I'll also be interested in beauty one, because I care about my looks. But you won't think of beauty. I, as a female at this like age, I also interested in online shopping. I'm interested in fashion also. So imagine if your content can talk about fashion styling, maybe yoga, fitness, outfit, and then you tie in with your main offer. It'll be quite it's very humanized brand instead of just saying, oh, I do this service and this is what's all about. They're very boring lah. Behavior. So we also want to look at how your target audience will engage with marketing channels. Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Facebook? Do they not even have any Facebook or Instagram account? Facebook maybe have, like Instagram maybe don't have, right? TikTok even lesser. Maybe the Gen Z have more lah. And then the next one will be the pain, doubts, and fears. I asterisk this. I put 5 asterisks because later on I will explain a bit more, which is very important to know what causes them pain. What are the causes of their doubts and fears? What are they even? Their desires, their goals, their hopes and dreams, and then lastly the mindset, their way of thinking, and even their morals, their principles. Okay, actually this one is quite interesting, so I can't wait to explain more about these 3 later. The next one will be competitive analysis. So John C. Maxwell, this like very successful businessman, said that a wise person learns from his mistakes. A wiser one learns from others' mistakes, but the wisest person of all learns from other successes. So this is my approach when it comes to building strategy as well. I take a look at my clients' competitors, even my competitors, see what's really in the scene, see what my target audience is looking at, and see how else I can be better and fill up a gap that I see. So some things that you want to document about your competitors will be the number of followers, because at the end of the day, you still want to quantify your efforts as well, and then the engagement rate. So like how many likes, comments, you only can see likes and comments lah. Likes and comments that they are getting for the post, so that you see a certain post like they are getting more likes and comments. Maybe that post topic resonates more with your target audience. You don't even have to test it yourself. They test out for you already. So you just like kind of like understand and document these insights. And also their best performing content, what works for them. So you assess brand like based on the engagement, like the likes and comments. Strengths and weaknesses. So you can even do a SWOT analysis, SWOT. Like, what do you feel that their strengths are? Maybe they are a very big brand. They have a lot of budget. They can do omni-channel, whereas you can't, right? That is their strengths. And then what's their weaknesses? Maybe you see that because they are so big, right? Sometimes they ignore being very niche in a certain sector that you feel that could be quite lucrative, right? Then other notable marketing activities outside social media. So social media itself, right, to get growth on social media, it's not like, oh, I want to grow on social media, means I do everything on social media. It means I run ads, means I post content. you need to also explore collaborations with other people outside social media platforms. Like even for example, this Zoom, right? It's outside social media, right? It's on YouTube. It's not Instagram. It's not Facebook. Or even like email marketing. If let's say you have a list of customers, you have their emails, you can send them like monthly newsletter and say, hey, this is the success story that I have for this month, or even have a client spotlight kind of thing. So the client also feel good, like, oh, I'm being broadcasted, it feels good for them. And then they also want to share because they got featured, right? This kind of marketing activities can be also quite useful to grow your social media. So it really depends on like how important growing your social media is to you. And then you can plan like what kind of efforts that you're willing to do lah. Okay, then the next one will be content builders, which is very important. But I feel that one content builders, once you do it once, right, you don't really have to keep changing it. Yeah, but of course it can evolve a bit based on like your test and trial in the beginning. But after you already like tested enough, it is more or less set in stone. If you keep changing, it's also not very good. So content builders are themes or topics that your brand can use to create posts. So these themes sometimes are called buckets lah, and it's specific to your brand and should reflect the content that is most popular with your online audience. So just 3 ideas of what content builders can be is like, number one, it can be about your brand, telling a story, and your why, your purpose, your mission. So really it's like very Mother Teresa kind of vibes lah. Right. And then the second one will be educational and informative content. So this one is really like just now I was explaining how to get leads, right? The problems that they face, you can list it out. Here are the top 5 mistakes that most people make when they're trying to lose weight, kind of thing. Or like, these are my top 5 exercises that I always put in my clients workout program. Then you can put asterisk, general, public kind of thing. And then the last content builder idea can be entertaining skits, content, motivational quotes, etc. So this one, we can reserve it more for like if your goal is to get more brand awareness, more shares, because like I said in the beginning, entertaining and really highly readable content gets the most shares. So then when you have like, let's say 3 or 5, right, 3 content pillars, you can bring it up to percentages. So maybe your brand story one, right, you can put like maybe 10% lah, right? Like once in a while, you talk about your brand story, then most like maybe 60% of your content can be educational, informative content. And then the last one can be the remaining percentage. Or you can even add another pillar, then you can split up like as you wish. Yeah. Next one will be the content calendar. So once you know your content pillars, right, it's easier to brainstorm the topics that you want to be talking about. And it's easier to filter out like topics that you thought you want to do, but at the end of the day, right, you realize like, doesn't really fall in my content pillar. Like sure, you can try to explore it, but then the content pillars give you a guide of whether you'll be on brand or become like deviate too much from your brand, right? So first thing in the content calendar that should have, right, is how frequent are you posting? So it includes also the feed post, so like the normal posting, your stories, like the video stories or picture stories, and even Instagram lives or any lives on whatever platform that you're doing. So you can plan out how often are you doing it in a week, and you can plan it out 1 month in advance or 2 weeks in advance, or even some people do quarterly in advance. I do not recommend planning it too far ahead, because you also want to try to hop on trends when it is applicable to your business and your service, because trends then can get you a bit more viral lah. Right? If you plan everything so structured and there's a change, it's gonna be very difficult to go and change everything. But if it's seasonal, okay, just like Christmas, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, yes, you can plan ahead. At least the holidays is predictable lah. And then the next one will be, what are the topics for the posts, lives, and stories? So again, what's the idea behind it, the content itself, the angle, and the messaging. The third one will be the media and the creative. So image, graphics, cover images, the videos, you need to create it in advance. And just a FYI is that on Instagram, right, you can't upload GIF format. So if you want to have like the video GIF, right, you just change it to MP4 format. Then you're good to go. Yeah. The last one will be caption and hashtag. So I used to think that captions don't really matter as much because like, people just see the main thing, ma. If the main thing don't capture attention, then who will read? And then some people also ask me, long caption or short caption works better, right? Um, Actually the truth is that captions do matter a lot. Sometimes even when we do advertising, right? Like we spend on the ads, we do split test the copy itself and realize that sometimes for certain industries, longer copies work better. It really depends on what your service is. If it's a very simple thing, right? Like I want to sell maybe this pen lah. Oh my god, so Jordan Belfort, right? Like this pen, then it's very simple. This pen is just a pen lah. Like the any features that is special, I can just go and highlight. Yeah, I can put a caption. But it's not revolutionary that I have to educate so much. But if let's say I'm trying to sell like an air purifier, portable air purifier there lah. Portable air purifier, then you need to know the specs a bit more. Like what is the radius that it covers? Like how does it purify the air? So that one needs a bit more explanation. Or even real estate. Real estate also needs more explanation, right? So that's where longer captions are needed. Yeah, and then hashtag, is it important or not? I recently tested out on account and I realized that when we do the right hashtag, right, we got a lot more reach from non-followers. Like surprising. So when we tested that out, then of course we keep using the hashtag. But I would want to highlight that do not stress about trying to find the right hashtag because right, it's sometimes a hit or miss. The hashtags they use can just be like something related to your brand, your service, local hashtags, location like SG, IG, SG fitness for personal trainers, this kind of thing. Like then you can test out different hashtags, and the maximum that you can put is 30. So don't need to put like 3 or 5 only unless you're a very big brand. You don't want to look very like desperate to get reach. But if you're like a solo business owner or small business owner, SME, like feel free to max out the number of hashtags so you can really like amplify your reach as much as possible. So these are the 4 main components that you should have in your content calendar. And the last one will be growth strategy, is number 7 of the social media strategy. So growth strategy is your next step after posting your content. So how are you going to promote it? I wish I can rely on Instagram's algorithm and they will just push out my content, my client's content, but it doesn't work that way. You need to think of how your content itself gets, pushed out. You have to push it out yourself, right? And your growth strategy should tell you like what you're gonna do to get more of this rich impression for the content and more followers, increase your brand awareness and your warm audiences. And just to highlight again that this is not restricted just to social media. So some examples of growth tactics, right, that I will do will to be boost a specific post. You don't have to boost all the posts. Boost, okay. So boost, if you're not aware, is to just put some money behind the content, which is an ad lah. Right? Just click a boost post button, the blue button, and then you just select your metric and just put like maybe like a few dollars behind it based on your objective. And this usually gets your post a lot more reach and impression compared to organic. And if that post, right, is really good, people will naturally engage, people will naturally look at your profile. And if your profile is all like very nicely curated, your branding is on point, you really like talk to that specific target audience, they most likely will follow you because it's free to follow you and you're giving them valuable content. So why not, right? The second one will be collabs, like me and Eugene. Like I'm also on my Instagram live now, so later I'll like promote Eugene's his Zoom stuff, so more people can find out about him, and he's also promoting me on his YouTube. So these type of collabs will be very beneficial for both parties. And right, for collabs, the thing is that one of the best people to collab with is your indirect competitors because they share the same target audience as you, but y'all don't do the same service. So the personal trainer can collab with physiotherapists, right? Same target audience. You train, okay, so let's say physiotherapists, they see finish the patient already, right? Then they want to increase the strength, conditioning, then you refer to the personal trainer. Then personal trainer, let's say the person get injured, then realize like, cannot start personal training yet. Then refer the physiotherapist. So it's a very nice collaboration. The third one will be lives like this, and then influencer marketing. So if you have the budget, you are like a small business owner, can engage influencers. Or if you have a friend who's influencer or have a bit more followers, just get them in, give them like a little exclusive treatment and then give a shout out to you, it actually helps the brand grow quite well. Next one will be ads. So this one will be a bit different from boosting posts. So ads is more like campaign tactical basis. Like if you want leads, right, we do a direct response campaign, we do brand awareness, we really like plan it out like the whole funnel for you. Yeah, the ads is a slightly different topic lah. But it does help to grow your followers if done right. Giveaways, like I mentioned, it helps to boost all your engagement, your likes, comments, shares, saves, whatever that you include into your steps, follow you, right? So people will be happy to support you and do the steps as long as the gift itself is quite attractive. So it depends on how much you value growing your social media followers lah. But I feel that it is necessary to consider it. Yeah. Next one will be email newsletter, like I mentioned. Telegram broadcast. So I think Eugene can be like the living testimonial of like how Telegram communities and groups actually helps boost your entire brand. He has like 700 plus members in his Telegram group. I think some of you are inside also. And then last one would be physical marketing. So as much as I love online marketing, right? I do value physical marketing a lot, like really a lot. Because sometimes like online marketing is a very competitive space. And physical marketing, right, from what I've learned from other agency owners is that it's very subtle. Yeah. So sometimes you walk past, like example, right? There's this spectacle shop in White Sands lah, right? And besides spectacle shop, there's this like huge ass like banner thing about a spectacle lens to combat myopia. So when you walk past, you go in, and you will have this like there's this top of mind awareness of the brand already. So it's a very subtle kind of like marketing. Yeah. It's very interesting. Okay, so next one will be chapter 2. This one is quite interesting. I feel that this is really like the most time consuming one because it forces you to really sit down and think very deeply about who you're targeting lah. So right, look beyond the demographics, and these are the 3 things to consider. Number 1, the pains, doubts, and fears, the desires, goals, hopes, and dreams, and then the mindset and way of thinking or the morals. So firstly, right, if I dive into the pain, doubts, and fears, will be that what is the obvious pain that they face that you can help with? So the obvious pain will be like, I think off the top of your head, you already know, I can help them with this. I can help you with this. Yes. Okay, that's important. The next one will be, what's the less obvious pain? Like, what are the other pains that this one pain can cause? So let's say right, I want to lose weight, because since we're talking about personal training all this stuff, let's say I want to lose weight. Like I feel that I'm overweight. My BMI is like over, right? Not healthy. Then like the other pains that this causes me is that, I feel very insecure. Like I want to wear certain clothing, but I cannot fit. Every time I go Cotton On, I have to buy XL. I feel embarrassed, And then like other pains can be, every time I see doctor, it's like they have this look on the face, like, like they don't say it, but I can tell. And I go with my friends, and it's like eat also like cannot eat. So these are the real pains that people, let's say they're not in the healthy weight range, might feel. So if you can, relate to this level, it's not just I can help you lose weight. Like I lose weight because why? Because I don't want to feel this way. These are the painful things that is very obvious, it's very tangible to them. So you can write down like, okay, these are the things that they feel lah. And then what does this problem that they face actually make them feel on an emotional and physical level? So like I mentioned, like they feel this way, they feel frustrated, they feel sad, they feel very confined, and they're very self-conscious, right? Physical level, maybe like they climb up, like the office, like the lift break down, they have to climb up to 5th floor. Wow, damn tiring, sweat already by every time reach there. So physical, right? For example. And then what are the doubts that they are constantly thinking about? For doubts, it's like, let's say they are motivated to, okay, I'm going to lose weight. And then they try to do a program themselves. Then they do for like 1 month plus. Then they change their program, do 1 month plus. Then not much difference. Then like they say, what's wrong? What's actually working? What's not working? So all these like questions that they have, they don't know how to do. These are the doubts that actually like can I even lose weight? Now? What's the maximum weight I can lose? Is it possible for me? Right? So that's something they can talk about as well for your social media content. And then the next one will be what are the exact thoughts or inner voice that they have about a particular situation which you can help with. So like it's something like a fusion of this doubts one and the emotional and physical level that they feel. So inner voice and thoughts will be like, okay, when it comes to um copywriting and marketing, right? It'll be very effective if you can say the exact words that they're thinking, like your mind reader, right? So if let's say I'm talking to someone here, right, and then they need personal trainer, I'm a personal trainer. Then I say that like most of my clients feel that they want to lose weight because they feel like they can't wear the clothes that they really want, or even like let's say that their friend get their birthday present, then they also embarrassed to ask the size. This kind of thing. This is the inner voice. So you just like say whatever that you think that they are saying, like as a mind reader. And then you're like, oh my God, like this is exactly how I think, this is exactly how I feel. How do you know? Like then they instantly have that trust with you and connection and rapport. And lastly, what are they fearful about? What consequences might they face if they don't resolve it soon? So this one, when it comes to sales, it's good to also ask like consequential questions. If you don't do this now, then what? Then they'll be like, oh yeah lah, I'll be stuck here lor. Like not much change lor. And then after they share with you like all these problems, all this baggage or heavy like feelings and emotions, right? Wouldn't they like just engage you, your business, your service would be like the fastest, easiest solution, right? And it becomes like your value instantly becomes much more than just, oh, I can help you lose weight. Do you see the difference now? Yeah. Second one to consider will be the desires, goals, hopes, and dreams. So just now was very heavy, right? But you want to really let them say, let them understand, let them relate, like, oh, you actually know how I feel, like problem wise, that I don't dare to admit to anyone is what I hear in my own head. Then afterwards, you can show them, okay, this is how it can look like for you. This is how it looks like for my clients who I work with, right? So number one would be what is the immediate tangible benefit upon taking action? So after you say, okay, if you don't do this, then what? And they say, yeah, lor. They say, okay, so right, if you take action, right, this is what you can get. Of course, you can't promise them, like, for example, just sticking to the analogy, right? You can't promise them to lose weight in like 10 days, right? It's impossible unless they don't eat everything, right? The immediate tangible is get, okay, the first step, right, is we can break down like what are your goals and then like what can you do? What is sustainable for you? A plan. If they have like a roadmap of what to do, right? They'll be very happy already because they are a position that they don't want to do, right? And this is applicable to many businesses. So it's not just personal training. If you really look like beneath what I'm saying in the analogy, right? You can understand like the thought process because we're all humans. Human psychology has not evolved as much as we hope for the last how many years really, thousands of years, right? We still our reptilian brain still works the same way, right? Of course, we're a bit more logical now, but then when it comes to buying, selling actions, right, we're more emotional than we hope to be, where we hope not to be. Right, we're more emotional. So if you can market yourself on social media on an emotional level instead of like black and white, then it can be quite effective, right? Okay, then the next one will be how would that make them feel when they have this tangible benefit upon taking action? They feel more secure, right? They feel that, oh, I have a plan. I'm excited to get started, right? These are the positive feelings that they feel with you. And then what are the whys behind achieving these goals? So we understand the whys, which is about like avoiding the pain. We also want to know like what are they trying to achieve? What are the desires? What do they hope to achieve? Maybe like they want to like eat and not feel guilty about it, kind of thing, right? And then last, on top here be what do they truly want? So it's really looking behind the why. What do they truly want? Maybe like they yeah that one maybe it's a bit deeper. I don't really want to put a specific example for that. What are the big hopes and dreams that are bigger than life? So for this one, it's like the big promise. This is where you become like a bit of a motivator, like a cheerleader. So maybe they dream this much only, right? But you say that, hey, you know, right, you can actually achieve this. Then they'll be like, huh, really? Yeah. Like, yes, can. But it's not like something that like you cannot achieve. It's more like a qualitative promise in that sense, you know. And then lastly, what does it look like when you've helped them? So this is where case studies comes in. You can share some of the people that you help with. It doesn't need to be like super like out of this world, but then um like me and some of my other marketing friends also realize that if you can show case studies or testimonials that is very like very ordinary from very ordinary people that you wouldn't expect to get the most results, right? And then they get some sort of results. That is the most powerful testimony because most people are they see themselves as ordinary people. They don't see themselves as like, wow, like got all this good thing. Then you help them is like only like that's the difference they can make. So it's good to showcase like the most ordinary people they've helped with, even if their change is like maybe like a bit. It does help with getting more people to trust your brand. So these are the content that you can put on social media. Yeah. And lastly will be the mindset, way of thinking or morals. So why I added this in is because I was thinking like if let's say my voice, right, my brand, um if let's say I'm more um okay, this is not a very like a safe topic to talk about. If let's say I were to have a mindset where I'm like I have no religion, right? Then if I want to talk to my mom who's like a strong Christian, I cannot talk to her as though like uh I am who I am, right? If I talk to her, I have to understand from her point of view that she has this way of thinking that like God is the most important person in her life kind of thing. I can't think of a better example, but this is a thought process that I had when I was playing this slide. So please do take it with a pinch of salt. This is just my personal experience lah. So when I talk to my mom, I have to make sure that I consider how she view, what's her worldview, right? So when it comes down to your social media also, you need to understand as much as possible your target audience worldview so that you don't offend like your customers in a sense, right? So like what are some of the principles that they do adhere to? For example, in personal training, the person like Sunday they can't train. Then you die one Sunday train because like Sunday is good, what? Then you can like Monday you start the week kind of thing, then it doesn't make sense if let's say the person goes to church kind of thing, for example lah. Or even on a more non-tangible aspect will be like the language that you use, right? If I'm a person who is more like I will use some uh profanities here and there. I like it. It makes me sound more like myself and more how to say truthful in my opinion. But if let's say I'm talking to mom, she'll scold me. If I say I'm talking to someone who's a bit more traditional, which is good as well, if it's fine as well, then I have to tweak the way I sound, right? So this is why I'm putting this slide lah. So how do they speak? The language that they use, the terminologies that they use. If I say vibes, some of you might not understand. If I say what's the word for vibes, Eugene?
uh, Feeling.
Feeling, yeah. Then you all understand, oh, feeling lah. Why you say vibes for? But my generation is vibes on what, right? Like, and then how would they go about finding a solution? So this is like the customer journey, the user journey lah. So if let's say they want to find personal training, maybe their friend recommend you on Instagram, then they check you out. Then maybe you have a website, then they go to a website. But doesn't mean they're contacting your website. Maybe you go back to Instagram. Then they Instagram DM you. Or maybe they look back Instagram, they don't DM you. They prefer to call you. Then you call. But then what was the first channel that they found out about you? It's not Google, it's not directory, it was your social media. So attribution is always one issue that marketers face across the board. But then when you are a small business, you're able to track like attribute where your customers come from, that'll be very good. So how would they go about finding a solution? And the last two will be how do they view the world and their lives like? So you can really market it very, very specific to them. And how would they go about seeing their problem? Yeah, so really about like perspective lah. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of things to think about in just one sitting for your business. And the hardest part is not finding answers to all these questions, but to select who you actually want to work with the most. Who are your ideal customers? Yeah. And then the last one, chapter 3, we're coming to an end already, is turning social data into valuable insights. So just now we were talking about more, I would say airy fairy, very like really like thinking deeply about it. But right now it's more like black and white factual. If it's not this, it isn't. It's numbers lah. So number one is knowing your numbers. No matter how small they may be, especially when starting out, do not belittle like the 2-digit metrics or 3-digit metrics. Those are important to take note of so you can see your growth. Being consistent and creating a content with solid strategy in place, and also having fun and be daring to try new things and act fast when the opportunity arrives. Okay, so knowing your numbers and why they're important. Number one will be followers. Okay, followers, I don't have to explain why it is lah. But it is important to grow a follower because, like I mentioned, it can make or break the person's split-second decision, right, on whether to follow you or not because of social proof. That's why I say that we're emotional creatures. Number two is that the more followers you have, the more warm leads you have also. So let's say if you have 1K followers, right? You go live, right? Then everyone will get notification that, oh, your username went live on their phone. It's a push notification, right? The next one will be reach. To get more followers in the first place, the metric that you should be looking at is the reach, because you need to like reach people first, and then they decide whether to visit your profile, and then they decide whether they want to follow you or not. So actually, it's not like when I get more followers, okay, kind of thing. The only like direct one step, like a process, right, will be giveaways. They see a giveaway, which actually reach already, right? They see a giveaway, then the step one is follow us to get this prize. Then they follow you already. They have to consider whether to follow you or not. It is a requirement. And then like more reach equals more likelihood of profile visits and more likelihood of followers if your profile is optimized correctly. And that's why knowing your branding or your messaging and being consistent about posting content and pushing it out is important. And next one will be engagement. I want to also specifically emphasize on saves and shares. Reason is because later on I'll say here, but when a post gets high engagement, right, the algorithm recognizes it as good content, right? And then because it's good, right, they want to push it to more people to see. So they reward good content in that sense. But then to have a more direct impact on getting like higher engagement, more eyeballs, right, to be shares over here. Because shares is the main metric you want to focus on when you want to create viral content. I don't really like to use the term viral because virality you cannot predict. You can see people do like this content, right? Copy the exact same, right? You may not get the same results, one. So it's very unpredictable to go viral. But then the elements of viral will be shareable content, which can be entertaining, like I mentioned in the beginning, and highly relatable content. And then the other metric that I want to be focusing on will be saves, because right upon testing, actually if you post the exact same content, exact graphic, exact copy, exact timing, everything is the same, the post that gets more likes, right, gets lesser reach, and the post that gets more saves get more reach. So that's why saves has like a, based on testing, trumps like likes. So I would prioritize saves much more than likes. So if you to get more saves kind of content will be like informative content, relatable content, like I mentioned at the beginning. So it's like when a person save, right, you need to think about why they save also. It's because like it's so good that they don't want to forget it. They don't want to lose it. But they like, it's like, oh nice, like. Then tomorrow they also don't know what they like already. But they save, right? It's on their Instagram, like the saves, and on their Facebook now, Facebook also got save already lah. Yeah. So when people save your content, right, you should pat yourself on the back and say, yes, that's good. People think it's valuable enough to save. Yeah. So that's all for my presentation today. But if you have any questions, you can just ask away. But I'll just like let Eugene take over for this.
Okay, guys. So as you can see, that's Jamie's contacts. If you need anything, you can just take a snapshot of this photo, this slide, and you can contact her, right? So we would like to thank Jamie, right, for this wonderful sharing. So we'll get into gallery view because we want to see some of you whether you're you have woke up. So if it's convenient to on the camera, please on, because this is a section where we will interact with Jamie. If you have any questions or things like that, this will be a good time to ask. Uh, yeah. So go ahead. Any questions? Over to you, the floor, the audience. Just for your info, in case you are wondering what is safe, social media safe is like a bookmark kind of thing where people found your content very useful, that they bookmark it to refer to it later. Personally, I do a lot of that, because in marketing and in advertising, whenever I find a very useful advertisement, I will save it so that I can refer to it. I can use it for my teaching. I can use it to model for other clients. So that's how I roughly use save, just to give another dimension to that, right? Okay, we have some questions, right? Susie, social media can be deployed for publicity instead of marketing and advertising. Publicity refer to public relations. Okay, Jimmy, you want to take that?
What was the question here?
Yeah, social media can be used for publicity, like public relations and things like that, to
Mm,
maybe
mm.
build relationship. Was that you want to
Yeah,
chime in? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Like, I think public relations, right? The number one thing from, because I'm not a PR expert, but from my experience working with them is like always putting out fire, right? That's where they come in like super important. But then if let's say on a positive note will be like newsletter, sorry, news outlets on, let's say, online, or even like Straits Time newspaper. Let's say you get featured, right? Then you can just cross promote that you're featured on XYZ news outlet kind of thing. And then it definitely boosts your credibility and your authority as you know, whatever business that you're in. Yeah, I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly. But then like do let me know if like, oh yeah,
I think
what.
also, yeah, I agree with Jamie, right? So in a way, social media also build relationships, build followings and all that. So the more you kind of post on social media, the more people get to know about you. The more lives you do, the more people get to know about you. The more your influence builds. And in a way, is kind of like a public relation exercise where you will do and kind of express your own personal brand out on social media, right? So in a way, yes, social media can be used in a sense of public relations, and most of the time, like what Jamie say, when public relations is to put up fire, they normally will use social media to debunk whatever that is out there, right?
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
I think a very good example was Balenciaga, where recently in in TikTok people are cutting their Balenciaga and burning just because Balenciaga had an advert with that involves children and some weird connotations to certain sexual practices like bondage, which people are really showing their anger on social media, right? Good luck to the PR agency handling that. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and then like even like for Kanye's one, right? I'm not sure if you all know about Kanye, but he's like he's his own worst enemy lah. And the ones who suffer is his PR team because they have to uh it's very hard to reverse or recover his case. So this asking um does the content
For PR
mm,
approach differs.
differs?
Mm.
I can't really comment on that because like I mentioned, like I'm not a PR expert. But then on social media platforms, we have like PR elements in that sense. Like if let's say it's like managing not so happy customers that might be publicly talking about your brand on like comment section and all that. Some ways that we manage this is like if it's really like very ugly comment that is like not needed, right? Sometimes we delete. But then there are times where actually I do like these sort of comments coming in because as a brand, if it's on brand, right, you can just like reply to it strategically and in a smart way lah. Yeah, it depends on what the comment is. So you can either reply back very, very professionally and make the person seem like a fool in that sense, or you just delete it. Lor.
I
That's
think
the
it
social media
also,
element.
yeah, it also depends on what is the PR that you want to establish here. In most cases, PR are always sending out the positive vibes about the company. So in essence, social media is also about letting people be more aware. Unless like your PR is reacting to a negative event, then perhaps your content might be slightly different. But generally, I don't think that there is any differentiation between content for PR using social media and because it also depends what you want this PR to achieve. And mainly social media is able to uh, achieve mileage for your brand, followers, engagement and things like that, right? Yeah. So we hope that that jointly we have answered your question, right, Susie? Right. So next, anyone have any like questions that we want to ask? We still have a bit of time.
Oh, Vicky has a question. Your experience, Insta and Facebook has different kinds of audience, and which is more favorable? So two questions here lah. Different kind of audience. Yes and no, because okay, on general, right? On statistics wise, Facebook does have slightly older audiences as well, and also young. So Facebook is like everyone also there. Instagram is like maybe like the older ones might not be, maybe 60 plus and older might not be on Instagram. It really depends on the demographics that you're looking at. Some younger people, right, that are, let's say, expats in Singapore. We're talking about Singapore context, expats in Singapore, right? They may not have Instagram because of their mindset belief. If let's say a person who is like don't want to be like tech, like very closely dependent on tech, right? Those sort of natural kind of people, you know what I mean? They they might not even want to have Instagram. And I know some of my clients, their customers, right? They don't have Instagram, even though they are like maybe 30 plus, just cause they don't want to be addicted to social media. Yeah. So if you come down to specifically your target audience, you need to really understand like how do they view social media. But I think Facebook most likely they will have like it's just whether they're active or not. So it comes down to also how they use the platform lah, right? If let's say your ideal target audience is not on social media, does not mean that you don't have to do it because you can always attract new audiences that could be the secondary target audience that you can work with. Because if they still want to give you money to buy your service or products, then why not kind of thing? It's just a ideal target audience one. If they're not on social media, you need to explore other ways of marketing or like referral system and all that. Yeah, which is more favorable. Um, I personally feel that Instagram is better lah, because I get more results from there for my clients. But Facebook, right? Facebook page is a bit hard if you're talking about business page. But if you're talking about Facebook groups and your personal profile, right? Facebook is quite good lah. Yeah, still on par with Instagram. Instagram has a bit more like like features in that sense, like more there's more growth. And Facebook is just trying to catch up sometimes. Yeah. TikTok is always the most innovative lah. But then if your target audience is not on TikTok, then you can try if you have extra time, but if not, may not be something you want to prioritize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is quite interesting that recently Facebook allow us to turn on what we call the professional mode in our personal profiles. So personally, I tried it out, and I was amazed by the organic reach. Right, I have I managed to reach out to 12,000 people in 28 days, and I had a 897% improvement when compared to the last 28 days that my content. So I'm not sure whether is this Facebook test baiting the personal profile. They always they always incentivize you, and later they say, if you want to reach out to your followers, buy an ad even on your personal profile. I'm not surprised that they will be doing it from in time of future, right? That's what exactly happened to Instagram organic reach before Facebook bought it. After Facebook bought it, the whole organic reach thing, like, totally severely tanked, right? Yeah. So so again, on target audience, I think this is a very interesting topic, because it also depends on how are you able to identify your buyer persona. Like, your buyer persona is who will buy, and then you know, like, okay, female of a certain age group. Then you look at the platforms where they hang out, right? And I think that's uh uh using this approach, then it's not about, Facebook better or Instagram better. Is where your audience demographic is hanging out. And if you are not reaching out there, and if your competitor is there, then you are missing that pie that is very important, right?
Mm. I see Vicky also commented that sometimes her friend's post she can't see on the feed, but then when they search for a friend, right, then can see. Yeah, it's probably like just okay, so how Facebook works is that they will push content on your feed for those like your family and friends content, and how you usually engage with their posts. So they prioritize friends and family content, then business content. So that's why usually business pages don't get seen often. But I think for your friends one, maybe like you scroll a bit more, right, then you might be able to see. Uh yeah, but then that one is unpredictable. Yeah lah. So can't really say a solution for that. It's Facebook's Facebook's algorithm. Yeah. How effective can YouTube and Twitter be used for marketing by NMA? YouTube marketing can leave to Eugene to answer. For Twitter, I do have some experience, but not as much as Instagram and Facebook. Twitter is very, very fast paced, even faster than Instagram. And you think Instagram is fast, right? Twitter is much faster. And Twitter, I help my client with Twitter marketing also. And usually our post that has some sort of graphic element or video element tends to do better than just a text base. However, we see Elon Musk kind of tweets, it's very, very witty kind of tweets that's just text based that can work as well. You can even repurpose your tweets onto Instagram, which is what a lot of people do. So you just screenshot your tweet and then you post on Instagram. It is like a template that is like super, super trendy. It can be a quote or like a funny observation that you saw today. Yeah, then you just tweet about it and then you screenshot and show on Instagram. Then maybe it could be highly readable content already. And people like on Instagram and share and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, I use Twitter. My Twitter feed is actually what I post on my LinkedIn. So I do an auto tweet on LinkedIn. Partly to perhaps hopefully that the I think I have about 1,000 followers on Twitter. Hopefully my Twitter followers will link up with me professionally on LinkedIn. I think that's my personal strategy that I use. YouTube is very effective, and I'm glad you asked the question, because next week, next Saturday at 10 a.m., I will be talking about how to make your business searchable on video. And if you guys have registered for this Zoom link, it's the same Zoom link. Probably tomorrow or something, I'll change the title, and then you will all be re-invited there. So next week, Saturday, you will have the same Zoom link. I'll talk about how to make your business searchable on video, and we will definitely cover YouTube marketing. In essence, just to answer the question for completeness, YouTube marketing have a tool that you can use. It's called TubeBuddy. It's free. And if you are available next week, you can tune in. I will actually walk through with you how to use TubeBuddy next week. How to set up your video or your YouTube channel, and how to make it searchable, right? But in essence, TubeBuddy, when you enter a keyword, TubeBuddy can tell you whether this keyword is competitive or not. And you can even steal your competitors' keyword tags. You can see which competitor or rather rank high, and you can steal their tags, and you can artificially get the rank that you want. And of course, at the end of the day, it's about content. So for example, what we have is this live on effective social media marketing. After this live is finished, I will configure the video that I have on YouTube to be more searchable so that more people will watch it. Yeah. And if you tune in next week, if next Saturday you can make it at the same time, we will go through about searchable video, how to go about doing it. I'll show you the exact step. But if you miss it, you can watch the replay in on Saturday afternoon at SEOKing.tv, right? So if you're tuning us in on YouTube, we really like to thank you for watching. You can watch the replay again if you're tuning in right now. At this moment, we want to see if there's any other last final questions. If not, we are gonna kind of consider the session a close. Anyone has any last questions?
Thank you, and
Thank you, NM.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you everybody for really being part of this. We really enjoyed bringing this session to you. We hope that it has been very useful. Keep the engagement going. Keep us connect us on social media. Yeah, and you can see Jamie's contact is there on the slide. So do reach out to her if you need anything, right? And with that, we really thank you and appreciate you to spend that wonderful precious 1 hour of Saturday morning to learn a new thing. And we would like to also appreciate my friend Sienna, who has been tuning in for several sessions from South Korea. All right. So thank you very much, and thank you everyone. And with that, we will end the live session. So thank you, and stay on social media. Keep on doing what you're doing so that you get the engagement. You build the relationship and you build your public relation. With that, I'm Eugene. I'm signing off. Jamie, last words? Any last tips or anything like that?
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And I think I'll send Eugene the slides, and then you can
Okay.
send to them more. Yeah.
Okay. We will go into gallery mode. My good friend Nick Isa has volunteered to take a photo for us.
Yay,
Thanks,
thank
Nick
you.
Isa. So for those of you who can on the video now, is most appreciative. If not, we see a lot of black squares, which is not so nice. Okay, we
Okay.
just give you 1 minute. If you can on the video, it'll be fine, right? So that we can take a photo. Nick, you can send to me. I can like send to Jamie also. If not, Jamie will appear one square mobile on her face.
Definitely. Everyone, please on your camera now.
Okay,
I'm gonna
please
count.
on your camera if you can, right? Yeah, come on, right?
I'm gonna count
Let's do
3,
this.
2, 1, yeah? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Smile one. Okay, get one more time with the thumbs up. All right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Pass back
you.
to Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie, any last words? And then
No, I think I have spoken enough.
okay, thank you very much everyone for joining us. We'll see you next week, same time at 10 a.m. Right? And this is Eugene signing off at SEO King TV.